I'm Brian Painter, columnist for the Oklahoman, and today we're joined by Rodney Bivens, Executive Director of the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma. Thanks very much for coming in today, Rodney.
Thanks for having me, Brian. Appreciate it.
Bet. Looking back at 2010, was the need for supplying food to Oklahomans at risk of going hungry greater than what you expected?
Yes, it has been. We felt like that 2010 might be a leveling year, that the economy would come back, the demand for food might decrease. That proved not to be the case. Demand continued to increase, still reporting anywhere from a 30 to 50% increase in demand. Some of our partner agencies have reduced their hours, the amount of food they gave. And so, we're in 2011. We're going to have to see what happens.
The Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma was founded in 1980. What has changed and what tends to stay the same?
Well, the basic premise behind it is still the same. It's trying to get food out to people who need it. Back in 1980, there wasn't myself in a blue pickup running around picking up food from back of Safeway grocery stores and delivering it to about 35 organizations. And now we have a whole fleet of trucks. So that's a dramatic difference where we're provide almost 1,000 deliveries a month now. And throughout 53 counties, throughout central and western Oklahoma, 45,000 square miles. In those first couple of years, we really only distributed product in Oklahoma County and the surrounding area. So that's made a huge difference. And the amount of increase in our distribution has just been phenomenal. From 280,000 pounds that first year to about 35 organizations, and we now do that every 2 days.
Wow. And again, what was your kind of totals last year, you think? How many pounds?
Well, our fiscal year is July 1 through June 30, and we distributed 36.5 million pounds last year, and that was a 15% or a 28% increase over the prior year, and the prior year was a 15% increase over that. And our distribution this year, first 6 months, is up 43% over last year. So it looks like it's going to be between 40 and 42 million pounds this year. And in some ways, that's really regrettable. It just shows the continued increase in demand and all the anecdotal information we're getting that's not tapered off, especially out in the rural areas.
For anyone to go hungry or to face hunger is a terrible situation. I know one area that you guys cover a lot is hunger and potential hunger facing children. And this is something that you and I have talked about many times. What are some things that you're doing in that area to make sure children, do receive the food they need?
Yeah, it's really regrettable. The most vulnerable in our populations are what we call the sunrise of their life to the sunset of their lives. It's the children and the seniors. And one principal said it at one of the elementary schools we serve better than anybody I've ever heard say it. When hunger ends, education begins. And we really kind of have a choice. We can educate today or incarcerate tomorrow. And it's cheaper to educate than it is to incarcerate. And so we really need to keep children in school. And one of the programs we started over 9 years ago was our Food for Kids. Some people refer to it as a weekend backpack program. And we started that first year here in Oklahoma City, serving about 5 elementary schools, about 280 chronically hungry children. We'll end this school year serving over 11,000 chronically hungry children in 48 counties and over 354 elementary schools. And then we also have a summer feeding program where we provide food to about 1,500 children. And then we have an after school program called Kids Cafe. It's those kids that have no place to go in the afternoons, may not be able to go home. They're having difficulty in school. They just need a little extra boost, extra help. So we provide volunteers, provide tutoring, and they get a snack or a meal in the afternoons also. And we're serving about 800 to 1,000 children through that program.
Through the years, you've shared different stories with me about the backpack program. Those still continue just to go straight to your heart, don't they?
Oh, it's amazing. And the stories don't stop. You think at some point these are isolated incidents. It's not the same children. You won't keep hearing them over and over again, but we do. We keep hearing them over and over again. And we keep getting calls from principals and teachers and other educators and counselors telling us the remarkable effect it's having on children's lives, that absenteeism is down, grades have improved, behavior problems in the classroom are down, and they reflect that because of Food for Kids program. Kids aren't coming to school on Monday morning hungry.
Looking at 2011 now, and I know you said you go by fiscal year, and so, but as we go into this calendar year of 2011 and all, what's kind of your hopes, and what's kind of, are hopes and reality anywhere close to each other? Is it maybe going to level off a little, or?
Well, I'm hoping that all the signs are there that the economy is starting to come back. You know, Oklahoma's first on a lot of lists. Best place to live, population is growing. I remember we started in 1980, we had a population of about 3,025,000. Today, I think it's a little bit over 3.7 million. So in some ways, people are coming to Oklahoma now, and I think that's a great sign. I think there's jobs here, there's improvement in that regard. So we hope that there's a leveling off. The challenge we have, it generally takes about 18 to 24 months for those jobs to catch up with the improving economy, because a lot of corporations will take a wait and see attitude to make sure the economy is stabilized before they start adding additional employees. And so there's that lag time. And so you take people who have been caught in this recession over the last 2 or 3 years, in many cases either unemployed or underemployed. So they're making a lot less money today to support their families than they were 2 or 3 years ago. And we think that cycle is going to continue for another 18 to 24 months. And hopefully inflation won't kick in, and there's some signs that that may happen. If that happens, it drives the cost of food up, and they're predicting food is probably going to increase anywhere from 10 to 25% in 2011 and 2012, and that goes right to the pocketbook.
Rodney, I really appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you very much for having me.